man. Cool. Well, obviously, since we're having this conversation, you own a Scout
Yeah,
camper, and
we'll
so
do a little flip around here.
yeah, we love your
So there she
setup.
is. So
Nice. You're dealing with a little
um,
rain there today, but real quick
yep.
before we kind of get into the camper tour itself, question I like to ask is just what kind of made you decide on a Scout? What made you lean that way?
So basically for me, I did the van life thing. I built houses for a living, like everything you see in here, I built.
Nice.
Um, so I built out a van. It was a ProMaster. Didn't love it. Bought this, sold the ProMaster, made a bunch of money. Bought this truck, which is an F-150 Lariat, 6.5 foot bed. And then basically bought a travel trailer and basically didn't love the travel trailer and was like, checked these out and ordered it along. I was one of those guys that waited like 8 months for it. So it kind of basically, I still have a truck. I can still access things. I like the hard sides. It's definitely once you close all the blinds. I was down in Silverton 2 weeks ago, Crested Butte last weekend, and once all the curtains are shut, I mean it stays very very warm even without the diesel heat, and that was
Nice.
another huge thing that I definitely one of the accessories that was kind of a must for me was the diesel heat as well.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, I kind of had it all. Went from the van, which like van life's cool, but then you only have a van.
Yeah.
You know, like buying $180,000 Revel's pretty cool, but then you're driving that thing all the time. So I think this was I'm really stoked actually this winter to take it on the road and visit a lot of the Icon resorts and do a little tour with them socially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We No, that's funny. We hear that quite a bit. People switching up from van life, so
Yep.
we like to hear it. People converting, but so why don't we kind of jump into your setup? I know people are curious, especially we've got a lot of people who mountain bike as well, and they're
Yeah.
curious about your bike rack setup, and
Yep.
just kind of give us a rundown from the outside what you're running.
Cool. Yeah. So basically, I put a level on the truck itself, and then I've got some Firestone airbags that are Bluetooth with a compressor built into the hood, so I can adjust that as we go along. It's pretty dirty from a trip in CB, but you can kind of see right there the airbags. We did put a valve down here as well,
Okay, nice,
right there,
nice.
so I can hook up a bike pump to that as well. Um, so pretty standard. I put on some Method wheels. I basically run a Wild Peak HE3 on 17s. It's about a 32-inch tire. Um, I do run full studded snow tires in the winter as well.
Okay,
I don't mess around. Anything north facing, it's going to be straight ice. So it's definitely something that I don't mess around with. People are like, "Oh, you don't need snow tires," and you're like, "That's why I-70's a mess," which is
right.
literally right there.
Wow.
We've got some crazy inversion today as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty stock all the way around. It's got the tow package, the 32-gallon gas tank in the truck. Got this lower rocker panel wrapped. And then, yeah, onto the bike rack, I have this Rack Attack from One Up, which is super sweet because you can actually make it fold out right or left, which
Oh,
some of
nice.
the racks, like the Yakima Swingback, which I used to have, only goes to the right. And I like to put my little table right here. Um, and we've got our extra propane hook up here to be able to cook outside, so a lot of times I just run that right to a little table right here. And then right now I've got on here a Thule Helios rack. It's super light, super simple. I do have a T2 XTR because I do have a couple Super 73 e-bikes,
Sweet.
so you definitely need to run a bigger rack with that.
Yeah,
But this is a pretty ideal setup for just two bikes.
yeah.
Um,
That's
I have
cool.
actually put a bike in the cab. Like last weekend, we shuttled a bunch in Crested Butte, so it's pretty easy to put a bike in the cab. I just put some towels down. Um, the F-150 does have a nice step with your little handle. Depending on the terrain, I've got this little step ladder that I bought off Amazon. In here, I've got my blocks, ladder, camping chair. I did get a little crazy and buy 2 DeWalt XR drills. So when I
Nice.
have the jacks on it, I can lower this thing and take it out. Only other thing that I really did was this little 2x3. It fits right against the wheel well because I was getting a little bit of movement
Okay.
with the actual Scout, kind of. I mean, a lot of the roads I'm driving are not roads that I should probably be on, honestly.
Yeah.
But this right here, basically, it's just a 2x3. It fits perfectly right against the wheel well. I've got some wood on this side for fires, but I've got the same thing on that side. So basically, it doesn't. Oh god. Basically, it doesn't move.
Nice.
So yeah, pretty much outside, I've got an extra water tank and an extra diesel tank. I didn't go with an awning because a lot of the places I go, I'm hitting stuff as it is
Yeah.
because it's super narrow. So kind of didn't go with the awning. But yeah, that's pretty much the outside. I don't know if anybody
Sweet.
has anything else. Pretty simple, pretty stock.
Yeah.
I've got the roof rack up there as well. As for
What about
ski, good.
Chris? What about when you obviously being a big ski guy? How do
Yep.
you? What's your ideal way of transporting your skis?
Pretty much just load them right in here.
Yeah,
There's plenty of room.
for sure.
This gets pretty beat up right here. I'm gonna probably put some type of like foam or padding.
Yeah.
Pretty much you can fit 2 or 3 pairs of skis right there. It's really nice because once this is up and locked,
Hmm.
you're not gonna be able to get the skis out.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty much its own little kind of little storage compartment there.
Nice.
You got both sides too. So I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, pretty much that's the ski setup. Like I said, the diesel heater for me was I've used it a few times, but once you have all the blinds drawn, it's plenty cozy in the camper itself,
Yeah.
which I was pretty stoked about. So, but yeah,
Good.
anything else on the outside?
Sweet. I think that kind of covers it. Yeah, I think that covers it. What about what you got going on the inside?
Pretty standard stuff. I just added a few things. Take a look inside. I've got all my cooking supplies right here. Do have a jet boil, which just makes it super easy to make coffee.
Okay.
Got my cast iron. Did put a little paper towel rack. It's just got some adhesive. I did put a bunch of these little touch lights, which are super nice, especially right as you walk in. So you're not fiddling with this up here,
Hmm.
which is super easy. It's just kind of really nice to just walk in and touch it.
Yeah.
I got some fly rods that I just basically run along there behind the pillows, behind the mattress.
Cool.
I did upgrade the mattress to a little bit nicer memory foam. Had to trim it. It wasn't that bad at all. I've got both bags. Got all my games. Got the bananagrams, the Uno, some cards.
Nice.
I got the table down right now. A lot of times I just put these guys right here and
Hmm.
kind of with the pup, which I left at home because she would just be going crazy. Pretty much just put a big blanket down there and let her chill there.
Okay.
So yeah, so basically,
Would you say you have a exterior or interior? What would be your favorite option or feature that you've got?
pretty much I think I got it all though. Only I didn't get the rooftop tent because it's just me and my dog.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got the stove. I've got the Dometic. I use this side for storage, and then
Okay.
this side is I keep cooling. Like I said, the diesel heater's huge.
Lovely.
I did get the windows in the front, which I think are awesome, both for kind of venting and cooling, but also just being able to look out. If you're parked that way towards the vista,
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet to be able to look out. The bags are actually pretty awesome. Definitely used like the hooks for some sweatshirts and stuff and hats. I do have the Yeti Goal Zero. I've got a bunch of charging things going on here. I got all my kind of dry goods, olive oil, soaps down there. I do have the cassette toilet. I don't use it. I try not to use it that much, but it's there for emergencies.
Yeah.
Got my fly fishing bag down there.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty much pretty standard. Haven't really kind of gone that crazy with it. Still trying to figure out what works for me. I've seen some cool storage bins underneath here. I mean, it's pretty wild. I've seen people put Max Air fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typically, I don't go to a lot of places where it's that cool or that warm, I mean.
Okay.
So it's been totally fine
Nice.
for me. But yeah, once these are shut, when it's cold out,
Mhm.
I mean, this thing stays pretty warm, which has been really nice.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
so I've been stoked about this. The screens are super easy. Um, you know, windows are super easy to open and close. So definitely been pretty sweet. I've been really happy with everything, honestly. Definitely
Good.
stoked to make the van life transition as
Like
well.
maybe you got some sun coming out there too.
I know.
That's
We might
good.
get some crazy rainbows too.
Yeah, that looks wild. So
So
cool. Well, appreciate the tour, man. Just a couple other questions for you here. I You mentioned don't get too many warm places. What would you say is maybe your favorite place you've went so far? Favorite trip you've been on?
I mean, I've done a lot down in Silverton and Crested Butte. It's so hard to leave Colorado when there's so much to explore here.
Yeah, totally.
Um, haven't gone on any big giant trips yet, but that's kind of what this winter is going to be, I think. Um, but yeah, basically just a lot of Crested Butte, a lot of Silverton. Right up in the Gore Range is up Piney, so that's literally in my backyard. So camping out there has been huge. But yeah, just honestly, it's just nice to be able to park it anywhere and go in the back and sleep.
Yeah,
Even if you're not feeling that adventurous and you want to just go in a parking lot somewhere.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's a little
Uh,
getaway.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Just been down to Salida a bunch. There's a new river wave in Salida. So I was able to park right on the river there, which was
Okay.
awesome. So yeah, just a lot of local trips because look around. It's hard to
Yeah,
leave.
stunning.
It's hard to leave home when it looks like this sometimes.
Yeah, that's stunning, man.
So,
Sweet. Well,
so
awesome, awesome, man. Thanks again for the tour. Just have like a couple questions here. Maybe we can rapid fire
yeah, yeah.
to end it out.
Go ahead.
So you already kind of covered staying warm in there, that's great. That was one of the questions somebody had.
Yep.
Um, one other question is, do you live full time in the camper?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I've got a 3-bedroom townhome in Vail. So
Yeah, that's good.
fortunate to not be. I got a lot of stuff. I don't know where I'd put all the skis and bikes if I
Right,
lived in here full time.
right.
So
Okay, so you kind of